that's so sad about the ghost voters, because that's a very old joke. I mean, that's like, I don't know, pre 1986 joke yan eh. I think that was like Marcos's second term. Yung even the dead are voting, or the birds and the bees. These are very old jokes. And it's unfortunate that they've persisted so long. But the reason they've persisted so long is because, in fact, there are some dead names on the lists. Now, why are there dead names? Why are there dead persons on the list? The biggest problem really is, how do you know, how does the Comelec know if a person is dead? If you think about it, we don't track people. We don't regularly call people and say, "Buhay ka pa ba?" We don't do that. So ultimately, the source of information for the Comelec, in order to remove people who've passed on, is the civil registry. Okay, every month the civil registry in a city or municipality coordinates with the local Comelec officer, gives them a list of the people who have moved on, have passed on, and they will be removed. All right, but there's another complication there. Number one, the civil registry isn't all that. Isn't all that. I mean, um, in fact, uh, in Mindanao, a lot of people accept that birth certificates are not as commonly used. Death certificates are nearly non-existent, because, especially in the South, religious custom dictates that the person must be buried within 24 hours. So there's that problem. In a lot of places, the civil registry, the records keeping isn't really all that. Second, do the civil registries talk to each other? As far as I know, each civil registry is practically autonomous from everyone else, which means to say that if I'm registered here in Manila, if I'm like a regular person registered in Manila, appears on the Manila list. If he dies, let's say, in Cotabato, and the Cotabato office of the civil registry does not inform the Manila office of the civil registry, then that information will not come to the Comelec, right? It will not come to the Comelec, because the Comelec doesn't track people. So, if a person dies somewhere where he is not registered as a resident or for whatever government service, then it's a very iffy question whether or not that info will ever get to the Comelec. Should the Comelec be tracking people dying? Of course not. That's census's job, and so that has to be addressed by a different agency of government, the agency of government that is charged with keeping track of people moving and dying. So the third problem is that when people have dead relatives, not a lot of them take the effort to come to the Comelec and inform us. Again, basic question is, how do we know that he died? Right? Even if a person comes to us and says, "My grandfather is dead," malay namin, di ba? We don't take their word for it. They have to bring a death certificate, right? And then we have to find out kung talagang patay, and then we remove the person's name from the list. It's not as automatic as people like to think, no? And to a certain extent, maybe it shouldn't be as automatic, because you might end up with people dropping off the list because someone said that they were dead, right? So as a pragmatic matter, dapat talaga maraming check and balance dyan. But ultimately, babalik-balikan natin yung pangangailangan ng civil registry na magsabi sa Comelec na may namatay na. Alright? Now, the person who's on the list, is he gonna be a problem on election day? Again, not anymore, because the lists have pictures in them. There are also other means. In cases of people who have not yet had their biometrics, we print their signatures on the EDCVL. The signatures are a matter of record for us, because even before we did biometrics, pumipirma na sila sa registration form. And one of the procedures that we encourage, or one of the procedures that we've told our BEIs to follow, is to have voters sign the EDCVL. That way, they can verify whether the signature is the same or not. Remember, kung mandadaya ka ng isa or dalawang tao, you're probably not gonna take the time to actually learn how to forge their signatures. So that's proven to be a very good deterrent, no? People don't actually do that anymore.
Yung picture,
Yung voting for someone else, it's a very small problem right now. In fact, I don't even have the statistics for it, but when we talk to the BEIs, it's not a problem that they see a lot of. There are some cases who claim that that's what happened, but those have to be verified.